All right, Cobra Pyro fans, I'm going to do a little test this morning. I've got my 18M connected to one of these Muux Bridge 12Q breakout boards, and I've got 10 E-matches connected to this board, which are then connected to Q1 on this module. And I don't think, I'm using the 14.8 volt LiPo rechargeable battery in here, which I just charged up yesterday. And we're going to see if that 14.8 volt battery can pop 10 E-matches. I think the user guide says a maximum of a little bit something less than 10, maybe 8 or 9. But let's see what happens here. I've got everything armed. I'm going to push Q1 here on my remote. Hang on a second. I'm trying to do this one-handed. I'll probably jump a mile, scare myself to death when I push this button. All right, here we go. All right, we'll check here and see in a moment and see if they all fired or not. Yeah, all 10 of those fired. So using the 14.8 onboard rechargeable battery and the Muux Bridge 12Q breakout board, I was able to fire 10 E-matches. I tried to hook up this external lithium battery, 12.8 volt, and I connected it to the input here, but I kept getting an error code 2. I didn't have reversed polarity. I think somehow maybe the Cobra, and I had set the voltage to 12 volts on here, but I think the fact that maybe that it's 12.8 volts might have had something to do with why these two things didn't play well together. I'll investigate that further. Okay, I'm doing another test with one of these Muux 12Q breakout boards. I've got 12 E-matches connected to this thing, and that's wired into 1Q on my Cobra. And this time I'm using a couple of rechargeable lead acid batteries wired in series for 24 volts. And we'll see if all 12 of those will pop when I hit this Q number 1. All right, I'll check and see if they all popped or not. Okay, so that setup worked. All 12 of those popped off of 1Q using one of these Muux 12Q breakout boards, and 24 volts of power wired into the Cobra. So that was reliable. I still haven't sorted out what happened with that 12.8 volt lithium battery earlier. That may not work. All right, here's the issue with this battery. When it's fully charged, it's running about 13 something volts. And when you hook it up to your Cobra, if you select 12 volts, it doesn't like that, and it will give you an error code. And if you select 14.8 volts, it doesn't like that either, and it's going to throw a low battery code. So it might work on a 14.8 volt. I didn't try it, but apparently the way Cobra has their modules set up, they're not set up to recognize this kind of voltage. I think this thing fully charged was putting out about 13.8 or 13.9 volts. So I'm not going to be trying to use these lithium iron phosphate batteries. I'm just going to stick with the batteries that Cobra recommends.